Hey guys, welcome back to another 90-day recap chat. This time it's Love in Paradise. 90-Day Fiance follows couples, one person from another country, one from the US, in the process of falling in love, um, combining cultures, language barriers, um, just the regular relationship issues, and trying to get married, navigate fiancehood to get to marriage. That's real life couples, 90-Day Fiance. All right, let's get started with these couples. Luke and Madeline, as we continue their journey. Last time he asked for a prenup, Madeline was very offended by that. She wants him to know that she really loves him and she's not in it for anything else. But he does lavish her and spoil her with lots of gifts. So he's not sure if she's in it for that or just in it for love. In this trip he took her on recently to reconnect, because they kind of had that falling out and they wanted to reconnect. So he took her back glamping. When glamping is camping but the glamorous way. He took her glamping where he first proposed to her so they can relive that magical moment all over again. And they had some magical moments. For a guy that's pretty much going broke, he does have a few dollars to rub together to do little trips and vacations and special things for Bae. But I think part of the reason he's broke is because he was doing those extra little things for Bae. But at this point in time, I'm looking at Madeline and I do feel like she really loves him, but the money may become an issue if he runs out. I do think she cares for him, but they may have some fights in the future if he doesn't come up with money. Will she leave him completely? I'm not sure about that, but I'm not going to say that money is not a 0% issue for her, because I'm not really sure on that. When you get with somebody again, I said this last time, and you lavish them, you spoil them in the beginning, you teach them what to expect. So if you're not going to be able to continue to do that, you probably shouldn't come in the door doing that. And that's just not a good idea anyway. That's kind of a distraction. I feel like some men do that in order to get the girl, but a lot of them can't keep it up. So I think it's always a bad idea to come in that way in a relationship, spoil people, get them used to certain lifestyles. It's probably not feasible for you in your pocketbook. Anika, I think is her name, but they're calling her Annie, so let's go with Annie. And I think I may be mispronouncing her name. Help me pronounce her name. Email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com for those 90-Day Love in Paradise fans, if you know how to spell her name or say her name, because right now they're just putting Annie, A-N-I, but I feel like when she first was introduced, it was Anika, A-N-I-K-A, and then her friend called her Anya or something. So I'll just say Annie and Kyle. Kyle is the sperm donation guy. He donates around the world. His job is really accounting, which he could do from anywhere. He has a mobile office, so to speak. But he can also give his sperm donations across the world at the same time. And I've said this before, but some of his donations he gives the all natural way. And Annie was not feeling that. She was hoping that since they were now committing themselves to each other in a relationship, or at least trying to, that he was going to stop. But it seems to be like his life purpose, his life calling to continue to do this. And I think she would be fine if he just used the cup, done it in a more clinical way, but he says he has to personalize it. And doing it the all natural way is the way that works best, and the rate to get pregnant is higher. So that's his excuse. He meets her friend Stephanie. Stephanie's been very optimistic about this whole thing. Uh, and she seems like a very cool person, like very, she asked him some hard questions, but she's just very like nice and unassuming and just very hopeful. I feel like in a way too hopeful. And she asks Kyle, will he be willing to change and willing to, put this down to be with her? And in a way, he kind of said that he would be, and that the relationship was important to him, and all of the right things he said, meeting the friend. And she was impressed. She said she feels like he's a good guy and that he may be good for her. So this makes Annie, like, all the questions and confusion she was having, her friend's approval, I think she kind of jumps into it a little bit too much. Her friend's approval meant a little too much, and now she's back at Kyle's house, looking at how he keeps his house. She's questioning, or she's really seeing how, yes, he probably hasn't had any real relationships, which he's claimed, especially because he's now doing this. But he said that, he had some bad experiences dating, and from what Annie is assessing as they're talking now at his place, while he tries to cuddle up to her, trying to move a little fast, but she's like, well, I'm not comfortable with moving too fast. So it appears that he's respecting that at the moment. But they're talking, and she's assessing that, maybe he's living this lifestyle, donating this because he felt that not only was he helping people, but he felt in a way rejected in normal relationships. So he felt like this was a way for him to be accepted and loved and useful. And she just felt bad for the situation, and she kind of felt like she knew where he was coming from in that. And I kind of understand feeling bad for him, but I feel like that's not a healthy way to deal with rejection. And he kind of took matters in his own hands, which may be fine for a bachelor. But even then, it's an unhealthy long-term way to live your life and feel like it's okay, and this is what love is, and this is how I feel accepted, having sex with many different people, though I'm doing it to help them have children. And to break out of that lifestyle after doing it for so many years, it's not going to be easy to get him out of that. And it becomes, to me, on some level, I feel like it's a sex issue, and he's used to being with all these different women. Are you going to be able to captivate his mind? If you do get pregnant, we feel like, okay, job well done, move to the next, because that's how he's been living his life with women this whole time. So he's like, well, should we move to the bedroom? She's like, well, okay, we can just cuddle, because that's, I just feel comfortable doing that for the night. She's saying something's telling her, I should stay for the night, that it will be a thing for us. And I think she's getting herself into a little bit of a mess. If she doesn't want things to go further and she wants to spend the night with him in his bed, she's asking herself for trouble. For those people of faith, we know what we're talking about. Those people that are trying to live an abstinent lifestyle. I do want to give a shout out to Lenny Kravitz. A big fan of him because I know he's not a part of this at all, but found out he's 60 now. He just had his birthday. Doesn't look 60, but he's been living celibate for 9 years. So shout out to him. Everybody lives the lifestyle that they want to live, but I think it's an admirable thing to do, especially if you don't have a fulfilling long-term relationship, you're not in a marriage, you're not looking to get married, or you're not in that situation where you feel that marriage is an option with that person you're with. I think that it's a good choice to make. But for someone of the faith, one thing that we do is we don't put ourselves in certain positions. I mean, I'm glad she stated her case and said, I don't want to do certain things, and that's very important for you to say up front. If you're trying to live that type of lifestyle, if you want to move slow, please let your partner know. But you're still putting yourself in a compromising spot by spending the night with that person. So it can be very tricky, I'll say that. And I can't say I haven't made some foolish mistakes in the past. And I was able, by the grace of God, to be in a position where nothing happened, but you're kind of putting yourself in the lion's den, but you don't want to be eaten. Like, that is the scenario. So I can say what I can say about her. I can't say that I've never made foolish moves, because I have, but yeah, in hindsight, they were foolish, and in hindsight, I'm saying this is kind of foolish for her to make this decision. But we're going to see what's going to happen. But they're spending the night together. In the previous episode, he supposedly slept with 3 different women that I don't think she knew about. It was like one that she knew about that he donated, but I think he said it was really about 3 that he recently donated to in a sexual way. So he went to go get an STD test. Not sure if she knows that information as well, but it's smart to do that, to get the test, but to have all this sex. And again, he does have to get an STD test because he has to do it all natural. He can't use protection if he wants to get these women pregnant. So he's having unprotected sex. And to me, I'm also thinking, shouldn't you have tested these women before you did this as well? I know that they may be struggling financially, but you need to at least pony up a few dollars for your own health and get an STD test before you commit the act. I mean, I know he doesn't want to be clinical, but it's common sense. If this is something that is just a transaction and you want to keep yourself healthy, it will make common sense. I don't know if he's doing that or not. Haven't seen or heard the receipts on that situation. And finally, Sean and Aaliyah. Sean proposed to Aaliyah. They had a crazy party last night. Aaliyah gets up and is pretty much a mess after the party, is celebrating their birthday and proposal. So Aaliyah says, let's do something fun. Let's go see the sights. There's a waterfall, a beautiful area in her country. So they go there. Sean plus her friend. So it's a +1. And the friend starts to bring up all of these things that they need to look into as far as, is there going to be a prenuptial agreement? All these things. Sean just proposed last night, and he's like, you're kind of a little bit too much in our business, kind of. He said it in a funny, but kind of put off way, that this friend is like all in your business, saying, what type of, Aaliyah is young and doesn't have a lot of experience. So the friend is like, well, what safeguards are you going to put in place for this relationship? Are you comfortable with even talking about these scenarios? Because Sean's like, this is something that we should really be talking about, and maybe you don't have the place to do so. But the friend is like, she's like, well, maybe Aaliyah doesn't really know how to bring this up, and I'm just really trying to help in this situation. So I understand how the friend is helping. I think it's kind of them to do that. I think it is a little quick. It's the next day, but now Aaliyah is nervous and wondering what it's going to be like to, in a way, completely be dependent on Sean, not have their own. If they move to the U.S., what that will look like. And so the friend is kind of throwing a wrench into their little honeymoon phase situation that they're in right now. But I think those are important questions to ask. And being a young person and being from another culture and country, this may not be your first thought, the first thing that you might ask or think about. So I think the friend is doing a favor. Bad timing, maybe, yes, but I think those are important questions to ask. And Sean says, have I ever been controlling with you with money? Have I ever done this, and this to you and made you feel a certain way when it came to money? And Aaliyah says no. But again, Aaliyah's like, I've never been in a day-to-day situation with this person. I don't know what it's going to be like. Will it be some level of control? Because Sean did prefer the other side of Aaliyah, which was really Robert, because Robert is transitioning to Aaliyah in more of dress and style. There may not be a full physical gender transformation, but we don't know that yet. But Sean was more preferenced towards Robert, and Robert was more shy, more timid, and Aaliyah is more bold and more confident, and Sean is a little bit more attracted to the more shy, timid side. So that may be for a reason. And also, is there a possibility that Sean wants to have control over this person? They want to make sure this person doesn't leave them. Is that something in his head? And is that why he's more attracted to someone like that maybe he feels that he could control? I don't know if that's the scenario. We don't know. But we could find out, as things go further in this relationship. I think it's important to protect yourself. I think it's important to find yourself and know yourself. Sean is an older person, has a lot more life experience. So who knows what the scenario will end up being, but it's always good to try to foresee, try to have a little foresight, and it's good to have people in your life that are going to look out for you in that department as well. So that's Love in Paradise, guys. Thoughts, comments, questions, email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com. That's cbiztv@yahoo.com. Look forward to chatting with you once again as we talk more about faith, love, and trends, 90 Day and more, right here on CBiz Media. All the best. God bless.